What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have too much else to say in relation to the Chicago Bulls. Everything I said yesterday pretty much applies to today, but we got a game reaction against the Indiana Pacers. I don't even really want to talk about the game. I just want to tell you what I want from this team going forward. And I think this is a must because what we've seen throughout 3 games that are easily winnable. I wouldn't say easily, but they're winnable games, you know? They're winnable games and we've pretty much fluffed them all. So with that being said, I want to talk about what I want to see from this Bulls team heading into the next game and future games ahead. Whether we see it or not, we're never going to see it, but this is what I want to see. Before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know what you guys think about the Bulls in their game today and your player of the game. We lose this one 103-101. Just an overall crap game from both teams. Just a really rubbish game to watch. Not enjoyable. Both teams struggled. Both teams, yeah, they fought. It was clutch, I guess, because both teams didn't play well. And we still managed to find a way to lose it in the end. But here's what I want to see change. I think it's about time we start punishing players for not playing well. I think it's about time we see changes to a team that is so desperately in need of it. And you might be saying, oh, is he talking about trades? Is he talking about maybe potentially, shipping off players to certain teams? That's not what I mean. And by all means, if you want to do it, go ahead. But that's not what I mean. I think it's really about time to start punishing players that have a belief that their spot is safe and secure in this team. That don't play hard, but because of their namesake, or because of who they are, or because of what they've done in their past, or whatever the case may be, because of their future even, that they have a right to play in this team and be starters in this team. I think we need to start punishing players for playing this sucky this quickly, because there is no excuse under any circumstances with the team that we have that we should be playing this badly compared to the start of the season. I would have rather we sucked from the beginning and sucked now because at least you kind of brought us to the reality from the very beginning. To go on that incredible run at the beginning of the season and to lose 3 games in a row to teams that don't have 5 wins on their season, that if you add them all together, barely have 10 wins on their season. Those are the 3 teams we just lost to in a row. No response, no effort given, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you want to know the best part about this game? It was when some of our bench players actually came in and put some damn fight up. Guys like Lachlan Aldridge, I think this is his first game for us. At least there was some damn energy in this team. At least something shifted in the fight of this team. At least I saw him fighting out there. And he's not the most talented player. I don't even know what his stat line was. I don't think his stat line was incredible. We could take a look at it. Why not? We've got all day to talk about this. But Lachlan Aldridge today had, 2 points, 3 rebounds. I think that was the best play from this entire Bulls team in terms of actually fighting. Maybe outside of guys like Trey Jones and Josh Giddey. No, who fought today? Who fought today outside of those players I just mentioned? Maybe Io? But it's not enough. What the sad reality is, there's minority of players in this team ruin it for the majority. There are a couple of players out there that you can tell are not playing well or simply just don't care or don't give 2 craps about this team. Couldn't care less. Probably off next season anyway. Or they're on vacation or, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is. I'm not naming names. But whatever the case may be, you could tell there are certain players that just do not care about what's happening in the Chicago Bulls team. Because if they did care, we wouldn't lose 3 games in a row. And we wouldn't be playing this gutless basketball that we're playing. Gutless. Fightless. Is this what Chicago is supposed to be? I've seen many bad teams in this league. I've seen many bad teams in Chicago. Trust me, I'm not from Chicago, but I've been supporting this team pretty much since 2012, 2013. I've seen the best and I've seen the lows. I've seen the Fire Guard Pax era. I've seen the AK movement. I've seen this Bulls team make playoffs and get to finals. I've seen it, or at least conference finals. I've seen a lot in the space that I've been a Chicago Bulls fan. And I do not think I've seen a team this gutless in my life. And I mean that. All those bad teams, whether we were really, really bad, we were finishing 13th and whatnot, I would rather be in that situation right now, at least hoping for the future and at least believing that this team is fighting, than starting 5-0, then losing 3 games in a row off the bounce like that, losing to ridiculously not good enough teams. And we should be beating them, and we're falling behind to those teams. This team is gutless. They may be better than those teams, but they're gutless. They're fightless. This is not what Chicago should be. It should not be what Chicago is right now. This is a bad representation of the Chicago Bulls and any team that's come before it and teams that may come after it. It is an absolute disgrace what this team has produced over the past 3 games. Over the past maybe even 5, 6 games, 7 games. It is an absolute disgrace. You've let the entire city of Chicago down today. You let them down against the Pelicans. You let them down against any other team that we've lost to. But it's not even just the losses. It's the way that we're playing. Even in the wins, that Portland game was not good. You cannot convince me that Portland game was a good game. You can't convince me of it. You cannot convince me. Even in some of these victories, we have been an absolute disgrace. And it's a complete misrepresentation of what this Bulls fan base wants to see. You know what I want to see when I watch the Chicago Bulls? I want to see that physicality that was promised. I want to see it. Because so far, I'm seeing a bunch of softies out there. Not one person. No, let's not say that. But there are many players on this team that are not playing hard. That are not playing physical. That are not playing like they want it. Where's that physicality that we were promised at the beginning of the season? That was what we were trying to strive to be. How does it go from physical to barely recognizable? I said it in the last game reaction. You're better off playing with defense with your eyes closed because you might be able to get more physicality and steals that way. Because the way that we're playing it right now is a disgrace. It is a disgrace to be this bad defensively. And then offensively, what the heck were we even doing today? You know, everybody wants to blame Kobe White for everything that we do. You know, Kobe White is the scapegoat of this team. Just like Levine was the scapegoat a few years ago. Just like DeMar DeRozan is a scapegoat. Every person, we always try to find one person to blame for an entire team issue. Billy Donovan is a scapegoat as well. Can Billy Donovan do anything about how gutless this team is? Outside of a couple of motivational words, he's not playing. So don't tell me it's just the coaching staff as well. Of course there's coaching staff blames there. This is a team issue. Why are we individualizing everything? Why are we trying to point out this guy, this guy, this guy? So I want to see changes. If we're gonna make this about a team, whoever doesn't play hard, get the heck off my team. Get off my team. I don't want to see you. Potential or not. The bare minimum is to play hard for the Chicago Bulls. The bare freaking minimum is to play hard for this Bulls team. And I'm sorry, you lose 3 games in a row to this level of competition, you cannot convince me you are playing hard for this team. So if you're not going to play hard, get off my team. I'd rather Lachlan Aldridge start every game if he's going to play with that sort of energy. I don't care how bad we are. I don't care if we lose the next 60 games that we play. I'd rather a team with effort and guts and physicality, even if there's no talent there, than a team that's not going to show any heart for the Chicago Bulls fan base. Not an ounce of it. I see a lot of people that, let's give an example. Vucevic is someone that, at the end of the day, has his good games and bad games, right? Not a lick of defense to his name. But what he says is exactly how I feel. This Bulls team should be better than where we are. We always knew that the way that we were playing, even when we were winning, is not consistent. We can't rely on buzzer beaters every game. We can't rely on Vucevic to hit 3 buzzer beaters or 3 final shots in a row to win games for us every single time out. You know, it's not sustainable. No team can live off of the way that we played. And we're seeing it now. This team is gutless. This team doesn't play all 4 quarters. This team doesn't try. Ayo Dosunmu said this team doesn't use common sense. Are you serious? This team doesn't use common sense. That's what we're saying now about the Chicago Bulls team. We don't use common sense. That's where we're at. This team can't use common sense. Serious changes need to be made. And again, this is not picking on individual players. Io has been phenomenal this season. I'm not saying that to discredit him, but his analogy of this team, I cannot believe that's what we're talking about in 2025. That a team, a basketball team, a professional basketball team that has a 9-10 record now, 9-9 at the time, does not have or does not use common sense. We go completely opposite common sense. So the way that I picture that,
I added that to the list.
Siri's having a go at me now. Anyway, the way that I picture that, right? You saying that you don't have common sense is me.
It's deleted.
I'll be back. I'm back. Sorry, Siri's not ruining my rant today. Anyway, as I was saying, I can't even remember what I was saying, but the way that I picture what Io DeSumo said is this team is going out of their way to lose. This team is going out of their way to be stupid, to be complete idiots. That's what I picture Io DeSumo saying when he says stuff like that. And if that's the case, whoever doesn't play hard, get them off my team. I'd rather see a starting lineup of Josh Giddey, Trey Jones, Io DeSumo, Mattis is borderline at this point, and Lachlan Aldridge, who at least bring effort. I don't care if we lose 60 games from now on. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, a lot of basketball is just fighting for your life. It really is. On that court, it is about being physical. It is about fighting. It is about showing that you have something about you. And so far, this team has shown absolutely nothing compared to what it could show, compared to what it did show at the beginning of the season. We are not the same team. This is not the Chicago Bulls. I don't see any resemblance at all. I don't see any resemblance at all. Talk about referring to old habits. Old habits truly die hard, and this Bulls team is dying before our very eyes. And no, Billy Donovan can't fix it. Maybe Billy Donovan needs to go, maybe he doesn't, but Billy Donovan can't fix this. I don't think any sort of trade at the moment will fix this. This is a team culture issue that we need to address. And until we do, expect more of the same. This team is not ready. I say it. I stand by it. It's going to take a monumental feat for me to correct it. You know what we need? We need what happened with the Boston Celtics. Remember when we beat the Boston Celtics? It was a few years ago. We came back from like a 24-point deficit. We won this game. And then Boston had a locker room outrage at the end of that game. And everybody was going at each other, cussing each other out, swearing at each other, all those things. And they ended up winning a championship that year. That's what we need. We need someone to come in, start throwing chairs, push people, shove them. I don't care what it is. But we need a damn response from this team. Somewhere. Someone please do it. Do it. Please. I want to come out with a story tomorrow, whether it's Casey Johnson or anyone. If it's Shams, it doesn't matter. I want to see that there was fights going on in this locker room. That's what I want. Because there's no way players are this passive after 3 embarrassing losses like that. Words need to be said. There needs to be some sort of reaction. But how many times? How many times have I asked for a reaction that we never get? How many times? How many times? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. This Bulls team has completely made me... I can't even say I'm detached because a person that's detached doesn't react this way. I feel like this has broken my heart. That's how I feel. I feel like this Bulls team has broken me again. Every year they find a way to do it, and they've done it again. So yes, shame on this Bulls team. I don't care if you're an Australian. I don't care if you're from Chicago. I don't care. Shame on you for allowing this to happen. And it's a team thing. Shame on the Chicago Bulls. Shame on you. And for those who say I don't have passion, there's your passion. Bye.